welcome back to BTVN.
Well, thank you guys both very much.
All right. Well, let's get into it here, shall we? As most people know by now, you've decided to leave 7 News later this fall. You and your husband Dan are expecting twins. How did you come to make the decision not to just take maternity leave, but to actually leave Channel 7 altogether for a while?
It was a really, really hard decision. Very hard. Because I had a great career path here, and things were going, you never know when TV changes from day to day. But so far, things were going really well. And, they wanted me to come back, and it was a very personal decision. It had nothing to do with 7 News or, the business per se. It was very much on a personal level. I didn't want to work nights anymore. It's very hard working nights. It's very hard to have a relationship with someone when you're not seeing each other during the week.
Sure.
And having 2 babies is something that just overwhelms me. And so the thought of having someone else raise my child while I'm always at work doesn't appeal to me, because I've already been there, done that. I feel like, I've been the main anchor for 5 years. I've been here 11 years. I've been doing this for, about 15 years or so. It's been great, and I just want to take a little sabbatical and be a mom and see how that works.
It's understandable. I mean, as Rob was just saying, it's a little out of the ordinary for someone with your level of success to actually walk away from a job this prominent with no concrete plans anyway for the future. So what about the future? Is there something other than newscasting that you'd like to do on TV or in another profession? And is that why you've taken the decision to leave rather than come back after your maternity leave?
No, I mean, there's nothing concrete that there's no secret or some sort of job somewhere else that's waiting in the wings for me. This is really a leap of faith. There's nothing else out there for me right now. I'm sure there could be if I wanted it there to be, but I'm not ready for that yet. I do plan to do something else, whether I am in local news in Boston, or maybe I finish off my pilot's license and I become an aviation correspondent for network, part-time, freelance. Those kinds of things excite me, and the unknown is very exciting to me.
So newscasting is not necessarily something that would come into your future. It's not obviously something you want to rule out, but it's not something...
No, and I wouldn't say newscasting, because I do want to... I'm a news junkie. I'm always watching the news when I'm at home. It's really pretty sad. And but it's something that
we know what you're all about there, don't we?
You guys know something about that.
Yeah.
But it's something I really enjoy, and and I think aviation is still part of the news business, if that's what I choose. If I was to do that, maybe I would work again as a newscaster, but not doing the 11 o'clock show at this point in my life. I just can't do that anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore. It's been a great run, and I want to end it well. It's been a great run.
And what time do you guys get out of here when you typically wrap up 11:35?
Yeah, I mean, we can't ride out unless there's breaking news.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not like we're here till early hours in the morning.
But
still, when you factor in having a baby, so okay, you get home at 11:30. Then the baby's crying in the middle of the night. Who's getting up with the baby? You can't do it because you got to look good for the next day.
Right.
So then you're sleeping. Who's getting up with the baby at 6 in the morning? Well, somebody else is. Then you've got a couple hours during the day with the baby. Then you got to go do your hair, your makeup, and get into work. And so you see what I'm saying? It's a juggle, it's women do it, and I applaud them tremendously. I'm lucky I can afford to do this.
Right.
I'm not forced to work, which is great.
Absolutely.
It gives me that choice.
And going back to the aviation thing just for a moment, your husband Dan is in the aviation industry,
Exactly.
so that's where that interest
tremendous
somewhat comes?
contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's really gotten me enthusiastic about it. He knows, he's on a lot of boards. He knows a lot about it. So I think, I would be one of the most plugged-in aviation correspondents we have. So
Absolutely.
but I'll take that down the road. I'll finish my license first and then see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, a lot of women in the world want to have children, choose to have children. Did you always think that if and when you became pregnant, you would want to do the full-time mom thing, or was this a decision that you came to when you found out it was going to be twins first off? And
you know what? I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
Was it more it's 2 children rather than 1, and that's why you were making the decision?
That's a little bit of it. I think if it was a one child situation, it might have been a little bit different. 2 is a different ballgame. But I also think that I've just never really been, for me personally, and this is just a personal feeling, it's not a condemnation of any woman out there. I've never, and the fact that I'm 38, so I'm not 30, I'm not just starting out and stopping my career and I'm going to regret it someday. I've had such a fabulous run here that I don't want somebody else to raise a child that I've waited so long for. I don't want them to be too familiar with that person and not with me. So it's just a personal thing that I feel. Now, check with me in 6 months. I'm going to be pulling my hair out and saying, I got to get out of here. This is crazy. But, so far, this is what my feeling tells me. And it probably goes back to a little bit of how, each one of us was raised. I always had a mother that was there. She worked as a teacher, but a good, strong female presence that was there for me. So it's just a personal thing.
So now we have to ask a little bit about the bundles of joy that you're carrying. Everybody wants to know, is the nursery going to be painted pink, blue, or half and half?
Well, it's not going to be all pink, even though they are both girls.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I still haven't figured it out yet. I'm still working on that part. It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, so that is the exclusive information we have.
On the record, pink, folks.
Caterina Bandini having 2 girls, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So tell us, what are your favourite moments about working with Randy?
Oh my gosh.
There's probably too many to name, but what are you going to miss about working with him most, and what are your favourite moments of working with him?
2 things I'm going to miss about working with him. One is that we are on the same wavelength. We share the same passion for news. We have the same thoughts about how a news broadcast should be, what stories should be, set precedent over another. So we are on the same page, and I think that's unique to find 2 anchors that really share the same passion for what they're doing. And I'm going to miss that, and he's said over and over again he's going to miss that, and that's his challenge, is to find a partner who is feeling the same way that he does, who stands up to decisions that we don't like, and applauds the ones that we do. So that is really going to be missed. And then just the day-to-day of seeing him. I mean, he's just such a great friend, and the viewers don't see this, but we crack each other up like there's no tomorrow.
You absolutely
and,
do.
It's just, he is just so much fun to work with. I mean, I know you don't see that when you watch 7 News, because we're
I think
such a
somewhat
tight
a little
broadcast.
bit.
Maybe a little bit.
You guys see it so much.
He's a different person on the air, though.
Yeah.
He's a little more reserved
than
he is in person. You've seen him cut up in person, and we just laugh over whether it's something funny or whether it's a bad news decision or what. We really just have a really.
It truly is a partnership. You can say that, and we can say that to folks from personal experience. I know that the first thought that I had after hearing the news, other than that's wonderful for Kat and Dan, is, wow, that's going to be a real sort of 2-sided thing for Randy. He's going to be thrilled, but at the same time, part of him's going to be a little, devastated, frankly, because the partnership that you formed has been so excellent.
Well, and I think that that's true to an extent. Now, Randy's been in this business a long time, so he knows how this works. People come and go, and you adapt.
Right.
But it's never easy after you've been with someone for 5 years to start anew and to build that up again. But of course, he's going to do a brilliant job of it, because that's what he does, and he's so great to be around. But yeah, it was very bittersweet for both of us.
So I'm going to be asking the same question to him in a slightly different wording, but what are the first things that you think of when I say to you the words Randy Price?
What are the first words?
What are the first things you think of?
First things I think of. I think of an enthusiastic guy. I think of someone who just a real professional. Someone who has a real good nose for news, and someone who's also just a real ham.
That's always good.
We've got that one then. Enthusiastic,
professional,
and ham.
If you can be both at the same time.
Exactly. Looking back at your time at 7 News, is there any particular moment or story, either on air or off air, that kind of sticks out in your mind and that you could, tell to us here?
There are, of course, a lot. The mega one that sticks out in your mind is 9/11.
Mm-hmm. And you've mentioned that before, actually, when we spoke.
I mean, well, that's really the top of the top. That was the time of my life where I was shaking in my seat. Because it was one of those things where I think we all were human beings first. And we were all thinking, what is going on? I had people that I knew that died in that. So it was very much a personal story that took over all of us. So that was probably the number one story that sticks out. But, I've had the good fortune of traveling, of covering politics, covering
International.
Pope, covering
Kosovo comes to mind.
Kosovo. Yeah, that was
absolutely.
really that was interesting to spend some time with the army over there too.
You look good in a flak jacket.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And a helmet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've actually forgotten the most important question. Randy can be a girl's name. Is that an option you and Dan might consider?
No.
Well,
I love Randy to death, but I think he knows that one is like gone by the wayside.
Absolutely. Especially at this point.
yeah.
Although
Well-
I don't know, all our options are open. We haven't figured out the names yet, so.
Ah.
So that's still
We'll
the
keep it
word.
open.
You'll
Okay.
know when they're born. You look at them and you know. That's what my mother
Yeah.
always used to say.
Comes out with a little mustache. And
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, yeah.
Well, basically, as I was stating before, a lot of our subscribers to BTVN obviously are interested in the news business intensely. Any final words of wisdom for our viewers now?
Well, you know, and that's the key. Is I say to people that come and go in this newsroom, and you can see the ones that have it and the ones that don't. If you are intensely interested in the news business, then this is for you. And that's great, because you really can't be in this business without having a passion for news. There's no point to it, because it's really grueling. It's a tough business, especially if you want to be in front of the camera, even behind the camera. I mean, it's tough all around. But it's also very rewarding, and every day you're learning something new about a news event or whatever. And so mentally it's challenging, and I just find it a fantastic career if you have that commitment and that passion.
Caterina Bandini is our guest. Thank you very much.
Thank
It's been
you
a
so
pleasure.
much.
And
Thank you, Max.
And look at this, folks. We've got somewhat of a DVD extra, as it were, although it will be tacked onto our main presentation. We have another special guest joining us, ladies and gentlemen, Randy Price.
Surprise!
Instead of
Well, it's great to be here, out of order, whatever.
Yes,
that's
because
fine.
we should actually tell everybody that we are shooting this now. We shot with Caterina before. It is now sometime after the newscast. Anyway, moving on, because we don't want to tell you too much of the nuts and bolts. Tell us a little bit about working with Kat. What are your favourite memories of being her partner, and what are you going to miss most about working with her?
Well, you know, so many things come to mind. She is, of course, so determined with the content of what we do. And I'll miss that. I mean, she's really disciplined about what we should be focused on in our newscast. And I like that. And it's great to have an ally like that, someone who's very interested in the material that we deal with every day. But beyond that, I'll miss a really fun person to work with. We obviously work side by side on the set. We work side by side when we're in the field, and we sort of live side by side in the dressing room. And we have a lot of personal and funny moments there, and I will miss all of that. She's a great person.
Well, just for the record, she said she hated you.
Oh!
No, she.
Well, she does have a great sense of humor, doesn't she?
She does indeed, but no, you'll see when we're done that she had some wonderful things to say about you too.
What do you think makes your partnership with Caterina work so well?
I think it's the things that make every partnership work well, whether it's a marriage or people who work side by side on the anchor desk. It's getting to the point where you understand each other that well that you can kind of cover for each other in situations where there's a certain moment of weakness. When I'm anchoring with her, we both are from time to time distracted when we're involved with the big story events. And so I will be focusing on one thing, she'll be focusing on the other. And a great partner is the person who is covering for you when you're at your most vulnerable place. And she's wonderful in that sense. She has always been a person who has, I kid her and say, oh, it's because I'm that much older than you that you defer to me as your uncle or whatever, but that's not the case. She's a great individual who goes the extra mile for a friend, and it's been that kind of relationship.
So this is kind of a question that we asked her to see what comes to your mind now. When I say the words Caterina Bandini, what's the first thing that comes into your head?
The first thing that comes to my head when
Be
you say,
careful.
no, don't say that.
What would you say it is, though?
Very disciplined. I think she's a very disciplined person. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I mean, I probably, of course, because I have a much more textured relationship than viewers, I think of all the fun things too. But The thing that I think about is, that she is a person who is always, when she starts the day, of course, I come into the dressing room after her, late for work, I'll admit it. But she's already in there, she's scanning the channels, she's checking all the feeds of the things that are coming in from CNN or wherever. And the TV is blaring. So like I'm focused on the fact that I'm late, and she's in there very absorbed with all of the news
going,
already.
hi!
Please turn it. But that's the thing I think about foremost, is that she's always prepared and ready for the day. And you don't get any, I think in a professional sort of consideration, you don't get any better than that. But she's, beyond that, the second thought that comes to mind are the great experiences we've had personally. I was there for her great wedding extravaganza, and have developed a great relationship with her personally and with her husband Dan, and with their families. I'm going to miss that. She's got a grandmother who is 100 and something years old, who doesn't travel anymore, but she was here once, and to have become acquainted with all of them over the years, her sisters and her brother and her mother. I know they won't be coming as much anymore to visit, so I'll miss that.
There's 2 little girls on the way.
And you're right, two more to the family coming up. Right.
Yes. Well, we're going to wrap things up in just a moment, but Randy, thank you for being with us today. It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much.
It's great to be here.